Hello, this is A.K.R. Productions here with.
What?
We're definitely keeping this in.
No!
Yes.
What was I supposed to say?
What you want your channel name to be?
I guess Love Fire Rose. I haven't made it yet though.
Okay. We're keeping that in for the beginning. That's going to be a blooper. So we had life hit us a lot, so we weren't able to make this video on time like we wanted to.
So we are very late.
So we apologize for that. It's about our box mods, the GeekVape Classic L200, the 21700 batteries that it takes, the big ones, versus the 18650. So first, let's ask my babe over here a question. What is your honest thoughts about the box mod kit?
It looked better than the last one. But again, I did get that second hand from you, but either way, I like it. I'm actually able to vape it and not feel like it doesn't feel like it's smoke. It doesn't feel like I'm being choked. So
As far as the performance, because she runs the triple coil setup.
And yeah, it's my preferred setup.
So, and I'm running triple coils as well. Shocker, I know. I'm a dual coil person.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the flavor production and the cloud production that tank gives you on the triple?
The cloud production I don't really care about, you know me. But as far as the flavor, I can definitely taste any type of flavor we tend to have in this a lot better. And I guess you could say that to me at least. I don't know about you, but for me it's like the vape is a lot smoother. It's not as harsh. But it also could be because I finally found the wattage that works for me.
Yeah, we've had to play around with the wattages a lot.
But actually I had the same wattage on the other device and it was still very harsh, so I think this one
it fires smoother.
Yeah, it's a lot better. I love this feature.
Yeah, the A-lock. One of the cool parts about this box mod is that when you lock it, it has a physical lock, so that way you don't fire it, you can't change any of the settings on it, so it just stays locked. So example,
Right now it's unlocked.
It's locked right now.
I know, it's locked. And then when you unlock it, it actually shows that it's unlocked.
And from there, come on.
It's having trouble focusing.
Right?
It's like it's so bright. Let's go back a little bit.
Thank you. So basically you can change your watts and everything, you can fire it.
And my watts are 70. Also, I've had the same batteries for probably about the last, day or two?
2.5 days.
Yeah, and I'm still good as far as my batteries go. So they definitely last a long time, and it's always at 70 for me. And even so, I go to work, I lock it. It lasts longer when I'm working, of course, because I'm not vaping as much. But even when I'm at home, it still lasts pretty good while. I'm very happy with this, and the fact that it's very much more leak resistant because the air holes are up here instead of down here.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do like about these tanks that come with the. This is a kit, so it comes with the tanks, a spare bubble glass, which is slightly smaller, so you're not getting 5 mils, you're getting 4 on the smaller. But one of the things that I like about this is that the fact that the airflow is on the top. I used to run, which I would like to again eventually run on it, just for shits and giggles, is the TFV-16. It's a 9mm tank. I used to run dual coils in it. That tank was a monster. In fact, in my first video about this, or at least our first video about
You
this
did show it
setup,
briefly.
I showed what my tank looked like. So
We don't have them right now because I think we put them in storage and in the garage. So because
they're actually, well, mine is on top of the shelf unit.
Where's mine?
In a Ziploc baggie in there.
That's right, because mine was leaking more.
Yeah. Yeah, we were having trouble with leakage, where we would install a new coil. I would do everything correctly. I would wash the tank inside and out, install a coil, and then do the proper priming procedures. And no matter how I did it differently, or how even following like troubleshooting tutorials on YouTube, or even on the Smock Reddit forums, I couldn't for the life of me get hurled.
Oops.
I couldn't for the life of me get the leaking on the TFV-12 prints that she had in my TFV-16 that I had. I couldn't get it to stop leaking.
Even when we switched the band thingies. What are they called?
They're called rubber or silicone O-rings.
Yeah, even when we got brand new ones, it stopped the leaking for maybe about a day or two, and then they started leaking again. So that was why we that's why we ultimately decided to just get new mods as a whole.
Words are hard on.
Very. I hate English. Yeah, it's my first language and only language. Go figure.
So to kind of show you, then, these are our batteries. We are running Panasonics, and they're freaking massive, and they last a long time. I'm quite shocked with how long they last. The door, as you can tell, is pretty good. I like the battery chamber because it looks a lot more cleaner than like my old GeekVape Aegis X, which is a full HD screen and all that. The door feels a lot more rigid, even with the constant use of me doing this. Feel it.
Yeah, that's loosened enough, but it hasn't.
Yeah, but mine would also rock like this.
Yours wiggled. This one does not.
Yeah, it's not even wiggling. There's no evidence of like really any malfunction.
The only thing I will say when it comes to the battery section is I can't close it. I am unable to close it because everything fits so perfectly that it does take a little bit of strength to close it fully, which is a good thing. But for those who struggle with anything that takes too much strength, it's a bit of a difficulty. So whenever my batteries do need to be changed, I ask this one here to change it for me. That's the only thing with it, but honestly, I'm thankful for it. It's a minor thing, really. And it makes it to where I know that it's reliable. Yeah, I know that the battery's not going to fall out by accident. I know it's not going to open unless you're actually purposely trying to open it. So that actually makes me feel very comfortable with the device as a whole. Yeah, I do. I like this. I like it a lot. And the other thing I like is the fact that the charging area, if I can open the thing, it's hidden. If you weren't looking for it necessarily, you wouldn't even know it's there. It does have a little symbol on it though, so that you know that you can move this so that it's a charging area. But I mean, unless you're really looking for it, you don't even know it's there, which actually makes it to where it looks a lot nicer, obviously. I mean, as someone who has had a hand-me-down of a very decent vape, and the fact that was my first vape ever, I'm not necessarily the best at knowing which ones are good, which ones are bad. But as far as how I use it and when I use it and all this and all those informations, or circumstances, I guess I could say, maybe. For me, this one works very well. And I mean, I don't have very big hands, but it fits it fits just fine. And I just put my pinky underneath because that way I know for a fact it's secure in my hand.
Whereas me, I kind of hold it like this, or I'll hold it like this, or if I'm lazy and it's just sitting right there in front of me like this with the screen towards me, I just...
Yeah. I tend to put my pinky underneath it just because. Also, another thing, don't always try and drop it, but I have dropped this thing a lot. I'm very clumsy. There have been no malfunctions. Even the glass hasn't broken, and I've dropped it on, not from a very high distance, but I have dropped it on cement. It's tipped over onto cement. I've been holding it in my hands lately, and then like maybe about that far, it's fallen on its side, and nothing has gone wrong. Of course, don't test it.
Or like tonight with the desk,
Yeah,
she was moving, and a plate bumped it, and then went.
Well, and even without that, my desk is rather small, so I'm very limited with space. Well, because I tend to always grab this, I tend to keep it close to my mouse. Well, that's not necessarily a good idea, but because I do tend to leave it there or in front of the keyboard, I'm always hitting it with my hand and then it's falling over. But there's been no breaking. I always check it afterwards, of course. No cracks, no nothing in the glass. There's no malfunctions with this.
Even you hand it to me to make sure that it works properly, even sometimes after it drops.
Yeah, especially
like
if it drops from a decently high. If I drop it from a decently high height, thank you. Then yeah, I ask you to check it because in case I'm not seeing something.
Yeah.
But every single time it's coming back plain, and there's no cracks, not even anything that would even show that I've dropped it at all. I mean, it's a really good device. I'm really happy with it.
I like the fact that the GeekVape name, as far as this device goes, for being drop resistant, has been really nice. Where this, even with me in the backyard, there was one case.
Don't test it.
Yeah, don't test it. There's a couple of nicks right here because I had this on top of the barbecue once.
Oh, and it fell onto the ground?
Yeah, and it fell onto the ground from a barbecue height, which is about 3 to 3.5 feet.
There's no nicks on
So it fell and then it hit on its side. It made it hellacious, and I felt the impact in the ground. It was like a hellacious donk, and it was like a smack mixed in with like a thud because of the rubber, at least the silicone rubber stuff, what they use for it to protect it. It made the thump, and then this part made the smack. And I looked at it, and I was like, there's not even a scratch on this bubble glass. I'm impressed.
Now, of course, that doesn't mean test it.
No.
Do not test it. But as far as if you're clumsy, it's able to take some beating. And I actually just noticed there is some scuffing on mine.
Yeah.
From me dropping it every so often. But it's not bad. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm holding it like this anyway, so you can't even necessarily see the scuffs.
Yeah, and like with mine.
Yeah, that's itty bitty.
Yeah, like you can't even see it on cam all that well. Actually, right there,
there
a little bit.
The part of the shine that seems to be messed up.
Yeah, right there.
There it is.
You can see the little nicks in there from when it hit the ground.
Yeah, with me, there's just some white right here, and that wasn't there before. Excuse me. I mean, but I'm not
tripping about it.
I'm not either. It survived. There's no malfunctions.
I'm the one that likes to keep things shiny and clean and making it look good. With that, I'm not too worried about because, again, my My palm.
You don't even
covers.
notice it.
Yeah, no.
You don't notice it. You really don't. I didn't even notice that till just now on mine. The other thing I like is, so I'm oftentimes putting my vape into a little red satchel type thing.
Go get it.
I don't even know where it is.
It's in your work bag. Your big one.
Oh, here it is. So more often than not, when I'm out and about, right, I have this on me, and my vape, it fits perfectly in this, right? So I mean, it's compact, and so you're able to take it with you and take it where you need to go without having it out and about. But the other thing I like is that when I'm going somewhere, or let's say I can't find there's times where I can't find it, right? I'm comfortable putting it in my bag. And there's even times when I put the satchel thing in a bag. Well, even if the bag tips over or something else goes haywire and somehow this ends up to be on its side, I'm not freaking out like, oh no, is it going to leak? Because of the fact that it is more leak resistant. Again, that doesn't mean leave it on its side for very long.
Yeah,
Still try and get it up as soon as you can, but I'll be working and so my bag stays downstairs. So I'll come downstairs and I'll see that my bag got tipped over. I'm not freaking out going, oh no, is it going to start leaking? I'm more so like, uh-oh, that just happened. I need to at least check to make sure nothing went haywire with it while it was on its side. Because again, I don't know how long it was like that. Because I just came downstairs for a break or to start my lunch. And I see that my bag's on its side. So I'm not freaking out. Which is very good because you're going to figure out enough about work.
Yeah.
So...
especially with the old tank that you had, you would always freak out because then at 9 times out of 10 it would always leak.
More like 10 out of 10 every single time. Every time it was on its side, it would leak. And I think that's also why it got so bad, truth be told, because it was oftentimes going on its side. Well, I can't help that if I'm not down there to prevent it. And I had even told some of my coworkers at that time to try not to have it on its side. Well, just because I tell them doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be aware. No, even they'll listen, but they're not necessarily aware all the time of when it goes on its side. Well, now I'm not as, I guess you could say, paranoid or as anxious about it being on its side. That doesn't mean I'm going to purposely put it on its side and leave it there for like an hour or two.
To be honest, I actually tested out how long it took on its side. And I can actually verify that I had this on its side for 2 hours. For 2 hours straight. And then I picked it up. And then took a hit. And it was perfectly fine.
So it's definitely resistant towards being on its side, being dropped. Didn't we also use these in the shower?
Yeah, I used this and you used yours in the shower. And I put it directly underneath the shower head while it was spraying on full-on mist. And it got it all completely wet. I made sure that it was saturated with water to test out its water resistance. And every time, fire. No misfires, no water got into it.
Now, of course, I'm not the one that's going to test that. This one's more comfortable testing that because she also knows how to fix it. Okay, I don't. So I'm not going to necessarily test it. But for the reasons I use it and for when I use it, it works very well. I'm very happy with it. We went to go see my mom, like we told you in the last video. Sorry again that this is so late. But we ended up staying with my mom for about a week. Well, we only had to change the battery like once.
Yeah.
During that entire time.
Yeah, we stayed there for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and we only had to change it once throughout that time. One thing I do want to say though is that although the charger for the smaller batteries that we were using, the blue ones, what were they called?
They were called Leakage.
Okay, even though those chargers that you can use to charge those do technically work for these, try not to use it for these ones for too long. It'll cause a dent in the top because you're having to force it in. So we ended up having to get a different one, which this was actually a whole lot better. So,
and it charges faster too.
Yeah, little side note. We got this mainly because of the fact that the other one was causing some damage to the batteries themselves.
Yeah.
Well, we got this one, and I'm glad we did. Because not only does it show you that they're being charged, it also, my brain's...
So here, I'll cover this part.
Yeah,
so,
you cover that part.
Here, really quick, honey, I'm
Yes.
going to do this. I'm going to take 3 of them out. Actually, I'll leave this one in.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how easy it is to take it out and put it in.
Yeah, compared to the other one, because I did take it out of there. See, it's just like as if I was taking out one of those small blue ones from the other one. Yeah, this one is better suited for it. Now, again, you don't necessarily have to get it, but highly recommended if you get these batteries, because actually you can even show that a little bit. Look at the top.
Yeah, what was being caused was this type of stuff. You could see the little dents that the charger was causing for the 18650s. The person at Central Vapors, where we got our batteries and our box mods and our juice from, said that the old chargers would work.
And it did.
And it does. However, I had to kind of correct the person a little bit, because I was like, this is starting to cause some damage to our batteries. And that's when they recommended, okay, you might want to look into this.
Yeah, so although the other one that will, in a sense, perfectly fit the blue ones, basically to where there's like this space in there, it will technically work for these.
You just have to force it in.
You have to force it in, and therefore it does cause damage, especially if you use it for long periods of time for this type of battery. So be aware of that. You can use it, but I would recommend, if you're going to use these batteries, just get the charger that's specifically made for them, so that you don't have damage to the batteries themselves. Because you don't want damaged batteries and then them having an issue while they're in your device.
Yeah. So what this does is this on a screen will show each battery, and it'll show the sections, and then it'll show like the health of the battery, the charge time, the amount of volts and watts that it's pumping into it, and it has several modes. This is called an A.K.R UMS4, and it literally is a nice charger. The input is 5 volts, 2 amps, 2 volts, 1.5 amps, the 18 watts max, and all that stuff.
Why don't you plug it in to just show the screen for a little bit? I'm pretty sure the reason you unplugged is because it was charged, right?
Yeah, and one of the cool things is on the back of here, which I just discovered, is right in here. It will show you the compatible with, and it'll show you the batteries that it's compatible with.
Oh, that's nice.
So it'll show detailed information on that. And here, let me plug this in, and then I will then dismount this really quick. It's stuck on something back there.
So if anyone has issues with them moving, close your eyes now.
Yeah.
You should have said that before you started moving at home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I know that some people have that sensitivity. My mom's one of them.
Whoop.
What was that?
This is a charger. So I'm going to angle this down. Then I'm going to grab this right here.
Okay, for those that had the issue, you can now open your eyes. We have it stabilized for the most part.
So you can tell that it shows the charge status, the health, and all that. And it's really remarkable. And it shows those with slot 4, slot, all that, like A and B's and all that. And I like that it plugs into a micro USB, because then, now I'm going to move.
You gotta move again, so if you have trouble moving, close your eyes.
So I'm doing it this way. And then, plop.
Okay, you can open your eyes now. We have it stapled again. I just want to put that out there for just in case, because I don't want anyone having any issues because they're watching our video, and so we were a little late on the first one. Sorry about that.
You're flying!
But some people have trouble with that, so.
One of the cool features is on the A.K.R website, you can use that USB cable with, like, a charge brick. So, like, the charge brick that we have, the blue one, we can use that for that. To charge our batteries.
I actually didn't know that. That's actually nice.
And you can connect a solar panel to it and charge with sunlight.
That'd be good. But I don't want this video to be too long, hun.
Yeah, one thing, in fact, get the spray bottle. It's on the shelf unit, hanging right there.
Oh, okay.
So that way you can see. I personally, if you don't know anything about, like, box mods and all that.
Okay, it's on mist. I want to make sure it's on mist.
As much as this says that it's water resistant or waterproof, and it has improved waterproofing. If you're not experienced, I wouldn't do this, but I will.
Now, of course, still don't try and get into the very top, but...
Even let me work it into the button.
Yeah, still no issues. So it's a very good device. So if you're looking to get something that's better, I guess, and depending on what your mod is now, but if you're looking, I guess, I don't know how to describe it. What?
If you're looking for something that is robust, that is going to take a hit, that is going to be water resistant, where if say you're stuck outside in the rain or, heaven forbid, a snowstorm, and you're just wanting to have a hit of your vape because now it's raining on you, you're stressed out, and you just need some nicotine, you can confidently vape with this in the rain. Granted, yes, there are some air holes here and rainwater could get into there, but I wouldn't be so worried about it because of the fact that it's not just going to give out on you when you're taking your hits. In fact, I'm going to simulate that.
Careful.
So I just put it directly on top.
Still sounds fine to me.
And it hits fine. So...
Yeah, it sounds the same as mine.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, that's because I'm vaping on 65 watts.
Yeah, to where I'm vaping on 70.
So yeah, like I just demonstrated, I demonstrated like a mist of rain just hitting the top of it from a close distance, and it still vapes normally. So I think I wouldn't worry too much about being in like a downpour and this being wet at all.
Even I wouldn't be, and with the other one, I was very stressed out if I was in the rain. I wouldn't vape. It was as simple as that. If I wasn't under something that blocked me from the rain, I didn't vape.
Well, that's because you were with a box mod that wasn't water resistant at all.
Yeah. But even when you shared one and yours was water resistant, I still didn't feel comfortable vaping off of it if it was raining.
Yeah.
To where this one, I would feel comfortable using when it's raining.
Now, fair warning, if you do get one of these, which I'm going to say I recommend this device.
I know I do.
But I'm not going to say that you have to get it. If you want to get it, then go ahead. I think it is a good addition to anybody's vape collection out there. But
or to actually use.
Yes. And I thoroughly recommend it, but the only thing that I will warn you guys about is if you do get it, and you get the 21700s, and you get, the triple coil and all that, and get this all juiced up, it is going to be heavy. It's a heavy brick. It's not like my other ones where it was light.
Yeah, but as time goes on, you will adjust to the weight of it. Like at this point, I lift it as if it's nothing. But yeah, when I first picked it up, I'm like, oh, this is heavy. It has some weight to it, that's for sure.
Even without
the stuff
and the juice.
Yeah, even without. So it does have some weight to it. So if you can't handle too much weight, I don't recommend this one for you. But hey, if you can handle the weight and you know that you'll be able to adjust to it, I mean, it's a really good device as a whole. And I'm actually really happy we got this.
Yes.
I'm not as stressed out. Yeah.
Don't worry, she's not farting.
No, it was the chairs. I promise.
I'm thoroughly impressed, and if GeekVape ever gets a hold of this video, I will say that this type of mod has been very good. I haven't had an issue with it. I haven't had any problems with it. Even if the only problem that I have is when I'm vaping and I'm just like, no hit? What? Oh, low battery. That's the only problem I have is if my batteries are very low. But other than that, the coils last a long time. 2 weeks for me on one coil.
And this one vapes a lot, and for me it lasts
Close to a month. You're not as vaping as much.
I don't vape as often, which I know is probably not shown in this video. But normally I take quite a few hits, like I've been doing, and then I'll put it aside. Or I get so into a game I forget about the vape.
Right?
Or a show, or whatever I'm doing. But yeah, it's a very good device. Again, for me, the only complaint is that I have trouble closing this. I have trouble changing the battery myself. But, I mean, the only place I really change it is home, really, anyway. So, oh, another fun thing about this is that you can change the coil even without having to empty the tank.
Yeah, I one time wanted to test it out, and the tank was like almost like halfway full. So I'm like, okay, so I flipped it upside down, I unscrewed it, and then I took the coil out, then I put a new one in, screwed it back together, and flipped it over, and it wicked properly, and there was no issues with it, and it hit as if it was
done properly the other way.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean always do it that way, but like if you're out and about and you realize, okay, my coil needs to get changed, and you have coils with you, you can change it on the go. But when you get the chance, of course, still do the proper one. Just do the proper type of coil change where you clean it out and stuff.
Yeah.
But you can do quick changes if you really need to. Just thought that I wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, like example, since I trust myself with this, I will grab this for just in case.
Do you want me to hold it underneath?
No, fine.
Okay.
So say if I'm out and about and on the go, I really need to change it. And say if I have a little hand towel, which I most likely would.
We need to start carrying hand towels, now that I think about it.
Oh, I really did this really well.
Yeah, you tend to.
There we go.
No, they're not normally this difficult to unscrew. But
no, I like to put it on tightly because then I know that it's secure. So these coils right here, all that they do is you can grab it with your, like, say if you have some fingers, nails and stuff, you can grab it, take it out,
and change it.
And then you take your new one and you put it in, and then you just press down. There you go. Then, and of course I like to keep the drip tip covered in case if it does leak a little bit, because there is a likelihood that it could. And then I just flip it back upside down like that.
And you guys can see also that the tank's pretty full still. So.
And then.
Good to go. So
yeah, on the go. I mean, it doesn't advertise that on their website as far as like you can change the coil on the go. But I feel confident enough with this tank that if I ever had a burnt out coil and I had a coil on hand out in the public and I really needed to change it and I just don't like the taste of the juice anymore and I'm just miserable, I do have faith that I can actually take this off of its thing, sit down on a park bench or somewhere and just change the coil right there. and it
Now, of course, you don't
works.
feel comfortable with it, then that's your choice. That's up to you. Everybody has their own comfort zone. Like I myself would not feel comfortable doing that. That's why anytime the coil needs to be changed, I ask.
Me.
I ask you because I don't feel comfortable doing it. So maybe someday I'll get the straight out. I'll get brave and I'll change it myself. But
And maybe we'll videotape that one. My babe's first coil change.
We'll see.
But to Geek Vape, good job.
Very good job.
I'm thoroughly impressed, and I recommend this product. I recommend it. In fact, on between a 1 to 5 star rating, I'd give this a 5. Hell, I'd give it a 10.
Same.
Because it has been so good to us. I used to be a smock whore. I used to love smock, or smoke, however you pronounce it. I would always be that person that's like, smock this, smock that, or smoke this, smoke that, or smoke this or that or whatnot. And I would be
however
like,
you choose to pronounce it. We're not trying to start any wars.
So I got introduced at my local brick and mortar Honey Vape to the GeekVape Aegis X, which is the mod before this one. And I really liked the fact that it was water resistant, drop proof, dust proof, and all that. And it was really nice. And then when I saw this come out, I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. Then I got it, and so far, GeekVape, you've done an amazing job at designing it, at putting the thought into making it look elegant. I love the rainbow. I love the leather thing here, and the fact that it looks like it's stitched on the back. And the cool part that I like is in the word Geek Vape, it's like yellowed like gold, and um, the screws are nice looking. I don't think those are ever gonna like corrode or rust.
At least they won't for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But all in all, to try and put an end to this video, very highly recommend this mod. And again, it wasn't really that expensive. I don't remember if we said it in the last one.
$62 something.
Yeah, like I want to say between $60 and $65. I think that was just though I don't remember if that was for both or one.
It was for one, and we got them both, and then we got the batteries to go with it, and coils and juice.
So yeah, for its price, I mean it's a really good mod. I'm happy and very happy. I don't know what other word to say. Ecstatic that I got this device for both of us. It was a very good purchase. I don't regret it in the slightest bit, and I think it suits both of the way that we vape and the way we live very well. So yeah, very highly recommended. It's true to what it says it does, which is like being damage resistant and water resistant and all that. It's very true to what the description says of what it's supposed to do. And I mean, it's a really good advice. It really is.
The only other test that we will do, which I'll also do a separate video on, to kind of do a continuation of like the resistance to things, is we'll go to the ocean and I'll drop this in some sand and see what happens.
Don't test it too much though. But yeah, it's a very good device. I'm very comfortable with it. With the weight, you get used to it. It just becomes another extension.
And she has a bad wrist too, and sometimes she'll use it with the bad wrist, and
it's fine. So short thing on that is I had a cyst removed, and even after I got the cyst removed, my wrist is always hurting. If I use it too much or have too much weight in my hand, my wrist will start hurting. But even with this, I mean, I'm able to use it comfortably. I'm not worried about the pain. I don't even feel any pain right now. Even when my wrist is hurting, I'm still able to use the vape device in this hand, and it's not causing too much strain. So the weight isn't necessarily that impacting, but when you're not used to it, yeah, you know the difference, and you can tell the difference in the weight. But as time goes on, I mean, your hands get used to it, you get used to it, and at that point, it just becomes another extension of you. Well, you know, you with a device in your hand.
Yes.
But the weight isn't really that big of an issue. The charging, the battery area isn't really that big of an issue. I mean, I would highly recommend this.
There is one correction that I do have to make, though.
On me or what?
On the last video.
Okay.
There was a commenter on the last video that I made about our unboxing. It isn't... So I made the comment of when you vape it, and if you're doing a triple coil.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You're not getting more nicotine. You're getting more...
vapor production.
Thank you.
So you're not getting triple the amount or double the amount or single the amount of nicotine.
It's just more vape.
Yeah.
So.
I just wanted to correct that because I like to value my integrity and, tell the truth on here on things. And I wanted to correct that misnumber for you.
So sorry if that put any if that was any type of issue with anyone. Was not intended. But
because you can call it rookie. You can call it rookie error.
Yeah, we're all still learning. We learn something new every day, and that was something that is actually a good thing to learn because that way you also know what you're doing.
Yes.
We should probably try and end the video.
Yeah, we're gonna end the video because it's 41 minutes long. Again, recommend the product. Recommend the box mod kit. And I guess we can end this video with a vape and all that.
Oh, real quick, if anyone's wondering what we are vaping right now, what flavor we're vaping, we are vaping what's called Tiger's Blood. It is from Central Vapors. Recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Just as not sponsored or anything. None of this stuff is sponsored. No. But I very highly even recommend Central Vapors. You can go online and get their vapes juice, and we've tried quite a lot of their juices, and I think we
found some that we didn't like.
I think there's only one that right now we're like, I don't know.
Wasn't that the caramel frap?
No, it was the apple cider.
Yes.
The apple cider is very... You have to let it sit. So if you're going to get the apple cider, we're still letting it sit. We're still letting it do its thing.
Yeah.
And then if you guys really want another video on more of the vape juice that we get, because we're oftentimes getting different ones, let us know. But what we're doing right now is Tiger's Blood, and it's really nice.
It's a strawberry coconut.
Yeah. It's really good. So, highly recommend the device. I highly recommend you guys check out Central Vapors if you haven't yet.
Yes. So, for you vapors out there, and for us vapors in here, we're going to close this video with a vape. So, go ahead and grab your vape device. We know we have ours. And we're going to vape you guys out of here and have a vape with us and just enjoy and relax. So, let's have a vape. This is A.K.R. Productions.
And Love Fire Rose.
Signing off.
Bye. Till next time.
Yes. Stay tuned also, gamers, for Overwatch 2 stuff.